It's hard to ask questions and record.
The time is 7:47. The board is back in open session. At this time, I would like to have a motion to go back into closed session under section 8H, attorney-client privilege.
Madam President, trustee Schindler, so moved.
A motion has been made by trustee Schindler. Is there support for this motion?
Support Vice President Lee.
Supported by Vice President Lee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. The board is in closed session at 7:47.
Here. I could have brought this heater back. Can you grab that heater? Can you grab the heater from the other room and put it?
Time is 8:48. The board is back in open session.
In progress.
You want to do that again, Sal?
You're okay.
Okay, are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. The next item on our agenda is presentations, and at this time, I will turn it over to Dr. Zachary Ross. Oh, I apologize. We have an action item before that under student affairs, which is the acceptance of a field trip request for ACE. Is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, Vice President Lee, move that the Board of Education approve the field trip for ACE to Cedar Point on May 16, 2024.
Thank you. A motion was made by Vice President Lee. Is there support for this motion?
Trustee Schindler, support.
Supported by Trustee Schindler. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. And now that takes us to our presentations for this evening, and we have two. So I will turn that over to Dr. Zachary Ross to introduce both of those presentations.
Thank you, Madam President. We are just super excited about our magnet school grant that we received from the U.S. Department of Education, and we want to make sure that we ensure that the public is aware of our magnet school. And we have the project director here to ensure that we know what's happening, as we're moving forward. And so we welcome Turquoise Neal here to share the upcoming events that are happening and to make sure that there's awareness about the schools that are involved and also to get some feedback from the board. Thank you, Ms. Neal.
Good evening, board members and administrative staff. So we are so super excited about our magnet schools grant. And since October, we've been working to really get a full understanding of how the grant will look in our buildings. And so we're excited to keep the work moving forward ahead. And so we did want to take that time to just ensure that we are up to speed in where we're moving and how we're progressing. Just as a reminder, this is the Magnet Schools Assistant Program. So we have the funding in order to create new magnet schools and programs in our district. And that is the purpose that we're serving with the use of the funds. A lot of people always ask and are not clear about a magnet school, just that it is still a public school. So just like all of our other YCS schools, it is a public school. Most magnet schools do have a theme, STEM or IB. And so we are STEAM and IB in our district. There is also the whole school or the programs that are options. And so for our district, we have our two whole school magnet schools, which is Ford and Holmes, and they're both our STEAM. And then we have the middle school and the high school that are IB. So from October to September 2028, we will be utilizing these funds to build and sustain our programs for our four magnet programs in our district. And our goal is to, again, have academically rigorous choices for our students. And so that vertical alignment of learning pathways, our STEAM goes now from pre-K to high school to 12th grade, and so will our IB. So that vertical alignment definitely will work toward improving our academic performance in our schools, but also just give parents and students more opportunities and more choice in educational opportunities that are offered in our district. Our prioritized strategies, again, we always are looking for ways to keep our students. And so we want to stop any enrollment declines, really want to halt students leaving our district to find other programs. And so having these magnet programs in our district gives us that opportunity to retain our students. But we also want to attract other students into our district as well. And that will give that diversity. So we have one goal, one overall project goal, and that is to increase equity in education and academic achievement in racially identifiable schools. And so that's our overall goal. Those 4 objectives are the objectives that we will work to reach during our 5 years. These slides you have you have that you can read through with the outcomes, the measurable outcomes, and quantifiable data that we'll collect over that time period. And so that's for objective 1, 2, 3, and 4. And they all go back to, again, that goal of increasing equity in education, ensuring that we are improving academic achievement. These performance measures are the measures that the U.S. Department of Education collects from all magnet schools. So not just our school, those goals that we shared and objectives we shared in those previous slides, those are specific to YCS. This data is collected from all magnet schools so that they'll have data that they can triangulate across all over the country where this grant is offered. So we'll submit this on an annual basis to the U.S. Department of Education. So since we are magnet schools, our enrollment process will take place for those schools that are magnet schools. So students must apply. And for our students who are currently enrolled, so at Ford and at Ford and Holmes, they will, if they're a current student, they will have to complete an application process. It's just that simple collection form. They won't have to do like the long where you apply and submit birth records and things like that. It is just that application quick form. And so they'll automatically be grandfathered in. It's not like they will have to worry about not being able to attend the school, but we want to make sure that they have completed the application process. So for the students who are new to our district, if the number of applications exceed our capacity, then that's when we'll utilize the lottery process. And the lottery process has been specifically outlined in a grant that was approved by the U.S. Department of Education. So where are we at now? Kindergarten enrollment at Ford is huge because we want to start our students off excited about STEAM and get them in at the early age, letting parents know that we have this dynamic programming happening at Ford. And so Principal Young is working hard to get the message out to families, as preschoolers, that yes, we have some innovative learning opportunities coming your way. And so Ford and Holmes will participate in Project Lead the Way training, but they'll also have some professional development on project-based learning where we are doing cross-curricular education across subject areas. So it's not just about we learn ELA in a silo, but how can we bridge all of those subject areas to make learning fun and engagement and carry that theme throughout the day for students. IB program is, it's really spelled out. And so both applications for IB schools are open and we're working through those applications. For the middle school, students can enroll in the IB program without us being accredited yet. So we'll be in that candidacy stage. So we will start with our fall 2024 with grades 6 through 8. The application will open March 1st, and students will be able to begin the middle years programming. So we're sending off our principals to training, head of school training, and IB coordinators to training. 5th grade recruitment is on the top of Principal Davis' list, so that we're able to again get the word out that we have this dynamic program available at YCMS. For the high school, it gets a little bit different because of the IB and career-related programs. We have to be a fully accredited diploma program in order to accept students in the IB program. So that for the IB track, that will open in 2025. However, there are some opportunities for us to offer some IB courses, even though they're not at the in the IB track. So we are looking at how we would be able to do that and get students ready for 2025. So if we can offer students classes or courses for our 9th grade students so that they're ready to apply in 10th grade and they've had their feet wet in some IB courses, then that would be good practice and good exposure for them for the IB diploma tracks. And that staff training, they'll have a whole year of training so that at the completion of the 2025 year, they'll have be fully accredited to accept students into the diploma track.
At the high school, if they take the IB classes now, it won't count. They have to take them again.
We have to be, to offer them, we have to be accredited. Yes.
Right. But they have to take them again.
You don't offer them, right?
We won't offer
Offer
them.
'em again?
No. Mm-mm. But if we offer classes to our 9th grade class, our 9th grade classes, it can still be on their transcript as an IB course, but is not added toward the diploma track as IB course. So until fall 2025, that's when it can be official for the diploma track.
Okay, so then it won't count until 2025.
Correct.
Okay.
So our next steps, so recruitment is huge, targeted marketing, family presentations, open houses, tagging on to any events that's happening in the community, really doing some outreach and work at the buildings. So since we have 3 schools in the Willow Run area, doing some targeted mailers as well as events right in their building so that parents can see what's offered, as well as just to the community as a whole. But each of the principals, we're all working through dates that will complement their open house schedule, as well as end of the year events they have already planned, and then doing some digital and media outreach as well.
Is this, I mean, the applications looks like it's opening really soon, like in a couple days. So what's the timeline for some of this? Because I know that, you know, recruiting Y students into the middle school IB program, it seems like kind of a no-brainer. I don't think any families know about it yet. So how soon is it going to be announced? Like, how does that part work?
Yes, so Principal Davis is ready to announce and get that information out to all of the elementary schools, those 5th grade classes. There is an event planned, I believe it's on Friday, for the 5th grade families. So getting that information is out to them, just as he's sending the information about the event, I think it's the fun day. So just sending those out across those 5th grade classes and continuing to get them out through blast and newsletter information.
And are we able to use any of the support from Lambert on marketing these programs and making families aware that they're coming?
Yes, that is in the plan. So we even talked about doing a blog, let's make sure I said that right, with all the principals so that each one is talking about their programs, as well as like I believe Mr. Young at Ford, he has his kindergarten roundup schedule planned. So there are dates on the calendar for those events that are happening with families. So we wanted some feedback on proposed school name changes with adding STEAM into homes and to Ford's name. It wouldn't be anything where we required a name change, a building code change, but it would just be adding STEAM into the name in the EEM system. So we'd love to hear feedback.
You asking the board for the feedback? What about the parents? Have you asked them how they feel?
Oh,
about the name change?
we just started here, so yeah, we could definitely talk with our parents.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like, why did you?
Is Henry Ford actually in the official name of the school right now? Ford Early Learning. Okay, so I've heard people refer to that way.
That
and I
was the
like,
original
That's
name.
it, but.
Henry Ford.
For me, myself, I like the name change. But yeah, I think we should get the parents' input too.
Perfect.
And the staff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a matter if they like it or not. That's basically what you're asking, though. You're not asking them for the whole idea, what they think the name should be. You're just asking if they agree with the name, what they're suggesting. I'm asking, is that what you're saying?
The
Right, but
name
that's two different
change.
things, though. Are you, when you're asking the parents, are you just asking, do they agree with what they've come up with? Are you asking them, do they have some ideas what the name would be?
Proposed school name change.
Right. No, but I mean, I'm just saying, does anyone understand what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm just saying, so when we reach out to them, we're not saying, oh, what do you suggest the name should be?
No.
Or are we just saying, do you agree with what we have?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
That's
I
what-
don't
okay.
think we're gonna reach out to them.
She
No,
is.
she was saying we and
Yeah.
we.
Oh,
Yeah, I said
okay.
they. No,
All
I
right.
said when they
We
reach
over
out
here.
and say,
We
this
over
is
there.
what we propose, are you okay with this?
Okay,
That's basically
yeah.
what the question's gonna be, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
Because
Yes.
theme has
Yeah.
to be in the school name. That's a requirement.
No, it's not a requirement.
It's not?
And so this is why I asked.
Oh,
I
okay.
said-
It just says the change would require adding STEAM in the name.
If-
If they wanted it to.
Mhm.
Okay, I thought that was like the requirement from the state, okay. I like both of them, so, I don't have any other suggestions, I'm sorry.
Would you like us to come back with their results or just go move forward?
Seems to me like if they like them, I mean,
They like it.
You like
You like 'em, 'cause
We are.
you want,
Mm-hmm.
you wanna make people aware of your
Mhm.
change, just by saying that, they're not, they're like, oh, okay, that's nothing fancy about that, but if you add that, then give them some idea of what this is gonna look like and what our plans are. You know, especially with them knowing what those, and it's really important, because to be unfortunate, a lot of parents don't know what that means.
No.
They don't know what those initial stand,
Yes.
them acronyms stand for,
Yes.
so that's gonna be important as well, and you hardly ever see arts.
Yeah.
Most of the time you just see STEAM, you don't normally it's STEAM,
STEM.
but STEM. STEM is what you normally see, so it's really also, they were adding, that added feature for the arts in there too as well, it's nice.
yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it just seems to me like if the parents are on board, it just seems like, you know, doesn't sound like anybody here. has any big objection.
It's the thing now, so I mean, I think it's awesome, I mean, cause I'm a STEM coach, I love that, because that's what my background is in, so I think it's awesome that, yeah, I'm an IT person, so it's awesome to see those things being offered, especially at that age,
Mhm.
because you know how far that will take them by the time they reach middle school.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Good. Well, thank you for your feedback and we will do as stated. Well, what other questions might you have?
I had a couple questions. With the enrollment process, I want to make sure that we don't have any major barriers for the existing parents. Because sometimes it can be, now I gotta go back and do all this request, register, and it could be a turnoff. And so I just wanted to understand what that process would look like for parents that may have language barriers, because, you know, in that particular area, especially with Ford, there's a lot of language barriers there, and we want to make sure that we don't have any hiccups or have any kids fall through the crack over paperwork.
Right, yes, we're definitely not gonna let any of these students fall through. So we'll be working with those families to ensure that they've completed the Google form application, so it's not like going through registration gateway where you have to request a lot of different documents. It's just student's name, birth date, just very general, very simple. So principals talked about doing a QR code at the next events coming up so that parents could just scan it and then fill out the application. Really, it's like just almost like you're returning, saying like, yes, I'm coming back next year. So a real simple form, real quick. Have it translated into especially into Spanish, since we have our Spanish immersion program at Ford. And then doing a good comb through who hasn't completed the application that we're missing, that we just need to collect this information.
And how does this, so adding this IB platform to these particular schools, how does this affect the YCS students that attend Wyma and Y High? Or is it just another added on?
It's another choice.
Another choice, okay.
One more question, please. Okay. The number of applications, if it exceeds the capacity available, so what is the capacity?
It varies by grade level, but I believe most of the grade levels are 100 to 150 students. So at the middle school, it's 150 students per grade level.
Okay,
At the elementaries, it's a little bit less, but some classrooms weren't, the grade levels weren't full yet. So we still have the space capacity there based on the number of rooms we have and at those grade levels. So, for example, for kindergarten, it's almost like 100 students that we can enroll into, Ford.
okay,
So there's a lot of space.
okay.
So with that capacity level then, would we then, if we met that capacity, now we have a waiting list situation versus if we didn't have this program at all, we wouldn't?
Right.
They have a lottery.
A lottery to see who would, for the additional spaces.
Okay.
Yeah, like we do at Wise.
For the middle and high school, would it be a separate building code?
No, they'll have the same building codes,
Okay,
yeah,
so they would just have an IB as one
A
of the things
program.
on their diploma.
correct.
IB diploma. And then it sounds like the same principal would oversee both of the programs.
Correct.
Do we foresee needing to hire additional staff to support those programs?
We have IB coordinator at each IB coordinator at each building and a STEAM coordinator at each building as a part of the grant.
And would there be teachers that are specific to that, or would the teachers?
So there's a couple variances, like an EL, you might, as an ELA teacher, I might have to teach one IB course, and then maybe, it just really depends on the high school scheduling, which, could get
and
really tricky.
schedules would be shared?
Yes. Mhm.
But I forgot what it was, so go on.
I just had a couple of quick questions. With the branding, and the recruitment, I'm excited about all of these options. I think it's fantastic. Will there be I'm assuming there will be like a FAQ, so parents will be able to know what they can expect in terms of the curriculum. To your point, Trustee Fields, now that it's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, like that's a big. But what does that mean for parents? Like, how will that change what they learn in schools? Would that be kind of part of the branding and the FAQ, so they can kind of have maybe a one-pager that just says, "Woo, look
This is
we
what it
got."
is.
Yes.
So a part of those family presentations will be some of the slides that we saw here. What is a magnet school? What does that mean? But also, what does it mean to be a STEAM school? What does it mean to be an IB school? And so Mr. Young even talked about doing the presentation and a voiceover and going over so they could be different places on the website so that parents could learn, hear it and know about it, but also in flyers and handouts, and flyers and mailers, having those, clips about what that means, or just brief descriptions of what will change, how does that look different, what opportunities are available for my child or potential student.
I got one more question. So with this addition, how does this, like when we talk about special education and now we have these other offerings, I'm assuming it will require additional training even for the support staff that helps with special education?
It just
So-
depends on the student's IEP, what what classes they are taking, what classes they are offered. And just like any other gen ed student, what other supports will be available or needed for them. but they'll still have access to it depending on what what stated in their IEP.
Okay.
Robert. I was curious, so if in the high school, for
Mm-hmm.
example, I know we haven't had AP classes for a while. Would the IB classes be just for the students that are enrolled in the program, or would there be an opportunity for a student who wasn't enrolled in the program but wanted to take an advanced class in a particular area? Would they be able to cross enroll, or have we not gotten that far yet?
We have not. That's a great question, right? Yeah, so those are a part of being a part of the IB group. The coordinators come together and discuss different options. I've met with New and we've talked about some. She gave me a lot of good ideas to consider. And so, that's the question that I definitely would take back and say, how could this work? And I know it looks different in their building because they're all IB, but some other schools like Huron and other local high schools have both a program and kind of a regular high school. So that would be a good question for other coordinators.
And then my last question is more of a comment, which is that, I think that our families by and large are not aware of the move of the middle school. And they're not aware of this program either. And so it just seems like a really big opportunity to announce a big transformation of the middle school. It's gonna have this IB program. It's gonna be in this beautiful building. I think that's just, I think,
Yes.
with our friends at Lambert, that just seems like a really big opportunity to announce to our community, and we relieve the debt in Willow Run, we're moving back to Willow Run, like, it's just an exciting moment, and I don't wanna lose that opportunity.
Definitely will add that.
And I'll just piggyback on that and say it might be a really nice opportunity as we are planning for our 10-year anniversary to announce and unveil these new program options. I'm sure it's already on your in your notes to say that, but
We should probably cut a ribbon.
so I mean that just might be a nice way to kind of roll out, like at 10 years, this is where we were in retrospect, this is where we are now, and this is where we're going.
Yes.
So. Any other board questions? Comments?
Oh, I got ribbon and scissors.
Big one? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Neal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back to you, Dr. Zachary Roach.
Thank you. At the request of a board member, we wanted to make sure that we shared where we were on our Black History 365. We implemented this program last year, and so we wanted to give an update. So Dr. Lopez will be giving an update on where we are with this curriculum.
Good evening, President Hawkins, Board Trustees, and Dr. Secretary Ross. This is always a joy to come in and be able to present an update of where we are. And I love the fact that it was led, the whole interest was from the board to find out where we are as a checkpoint. But as you know, this year we adopted Black History, and the books are over there by the grade levels. And then, of course, this is the one at the secondary level. And I'll pass this one around so you could take a look. But I will give you an update of what we have. But right now, I want to start with the following. And that's, I like putting people in front of us. I think Martin Luther King said, the time is always right to do the right thing. And when we adopted this, it was the right time to do the right thing on behalf of our children. And what I would talk about today is going to prove from their voices how important this is. And then never limit yourself because of others limiting your imagination. Never limit others because of your own limited imagination. So the biggest piece here is, think big and go for the horizon, because I think it is impactful. And the last one here is from President Obama. A change is brought about because ordinary people do extraordinary things. And these are just great quotes that allows us to think about in the right direction. And as we're looking at interesting facts about this program, from IPSY Connected, and I put those up there so I could talk a little bit more. So I asked the student, how would the students relate to the content and how the teachers utilize it and how they feel about the materials. So at the IPSI Connected Middle Schools, we started as a class and the next thing that has happened, the kids were so enthusiastic about it that the high interest level is so high there online. And of course for there it's online, right? And so the students utilize it and it's so exciting because there's a number of things happening. Remember the kids that are home, parents are seeing what the kids are offering. The parents love it. Do you understand? There's a sense of pride from our students and the principal, Ingraham was speaking to what the teachers have done, what the interest, not only a high interest, but also the whole perspective of what's happening with the middle school. But then when she started talking about grades 2nd to 5th grade, there was a real positive reaction also, not only from the students, but the images, the conversation, the deep conversation. And there's a sense of love from our students in relationship of what they see because it's authentic materials, etc. And it's complementary to our diverse literacy library that we have. So it is complementary and it's getting good results. In talking a little bit more, family engagement in relationship to being engaged with the students and that online platform is very welcoming and very exciting to see that the vision that this board has is being led by our families. And I think it speaks volumes to that. There's also one thing that was stressed very heavily was the sense of pride that is instilled upon our Black and brown students when they see themselves and when with everything that's happening in the nation of covering, erasing our Black and brown, especially our African American history, to see us living this at the forefront. It's a signature for us. And I just think it's courage, right? And I think the beauty though that Principal Ingraham wanted to highlight was the whole perspective that although our teachers in the school are white, they're enjoying teaching this. And the materials are so readily that it allows you the opportunity, no matter if you're Black or not, that you could teach this curriculum. And the teachers love it because of the response of the students, because it has a lot of questions. And they put the elephant is, putting an elephant in the room, a hard conversation, courageous conversation. And they really like that. And I just wanted to highlight what the schools have been saying and my conversation with the principals who spend a lot of time in the classroom and are observing. But to see that there is a demand and that the kids really like it, I love the fact. Now, moving a little bit into the middle school, I was excited to see, because I spent a lot of time with Nina and Principal Principal Harris, Associate Principal Harris, and the principal of the building, Charles Davis. And the biggest dialogue there is that they wanted to promote it this year in 8th grade. And when they started first quarter, the kids were a little like, what are you talking about? But then all of a sudden, as they got deeper into the content, the excitement, next thing you know, it's become their choice of option. You think about when you provide kids elective, sports and all of this, they're choosing this. And they really choose it because of the simple reason that they see themselves in it. They're able to have good, courageous conversation. And it's just being able to not have to check your identity and be part of your whole self. And the perspective is that it's bringing unison because you have African-American children, you have Latino, you have all the mixture of all children, white, and it's just great, rich conversation. And so the excitement to the point where the 8th graders were talking to 7th graders, and now next year they have to offer in 7th grade as well because of the interest. So even the kids talking, brothers and sisters talking, had gotten other kids motivated and excited. So just note that. And then it helped that Mr. Sheldon, who was a teacher, the music teacher in the school, decided to infuse music into it as well. So by infusing music, it got the kids more excited about it. And so in essence, it's just about the holistic approach in looking at instruction, but looking at, hey, the rigor of these curriculum, but also an authentic way to really connect with our young people. And I just wanted to share those pieces because it just talked about validation. It talked about pride. It talked about just the students feeling good about themselves and know that I love where it says Black History 365 days. you're not just one day a week or, 1 month a year. It's every single day. And I think that that's the beauty of even the quotes that you see up here. And then when we talked to, at the high school decided to use the curriculum and embed it into their social studies, into their science, into their ELA. And so they infuse the content. And so teachers have it and they're embedding it into the regular content. And they're using the selected pieces where they get the kids excited and enticed. So one of the biggest things for the high school, including the middle school, is also making authentic projects that involves the richness of the curriculum. And then when we look at ACE, and at the ACE school, one of the biggest things that has taken place at ACE is the whole perspective that they really there's one teacher there who teaches it, and every time I go there, she's teaching this content. And I love sitting and listening to the kids talking and whatever, but it's very enticing as a brand new teacher and just full of, she's very bubbly. But on the other hand, what I do love is the perspective of the rich conversation that our students are having around themselves and understanding. And also she provides an opportunity for the students to really talk about their home experiences. And so in essence, she's bringing speakers and they could be an aunt or a parent, and just builds that sense of community. And I think at ACE with the restorative practices approach and it takes great pride when you walk in there and in the hallway, books are there where kids could take them and books that look like them. Do you follow me? And then when you go to the library, they have it there. And at that school, when you go into that library in relationship to, it's a very peaceful place about learning, et cetera, et cetera. And so I want to keep that. I just think that so overall, summarizing this, there's a quote, but I'm going to have to get a little bit closer because I can't see without. Okay. So darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And so as we're looking at this was a labor of love on your behalf that, hey, we're going to invest in this because it's a costly program. But on the other hand, it's paying dividends on our lives of our children, and anything that can allow our children to take great pride of who they are is worth every cent. And so this will lead. Thank you for this. And what questions might you have? And I did probably.
I don't necessarily have a question, but I do think this is good to see. I think a lot of issues that we currently have in this country is based upon the fact that most kids don't know who they are, especially when it comes to African American students. I know just coming through this district, my high school history teachers, two were African American, Mr. Robert Green and Miss L. Harmon. They were they were intentional about showing us images of African American leaders that have done great things or made an impact. But then by the time I got to 11th, 12th grade, I had a teacher by the name of Rochelle Balcom, who was a white woman who really was passionate about just teaching Black history and just history in general. But it was good for all of us as students, Black, white, Asian, Latina, just to understand the different cultures. And it made me want to actually learn more about other races and cultures and things like that. So I applaud the district on just really pushing this through. And I'm thankful, for our teachers and staff that are just really taking this serious, because we have so many issues that we have to deal with. And a lot of times it has to simply do with young people not knowing who they are and what impact or people that from the past has gotten into this point. And so thank you for all of your hard work on that.
Yeah, I like to piggyback off of Trustee Town. And just say thank you. Because when I was growing up, the only Black history we were taught was Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X. That was it. I'm looking through that book. It's amazing. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for getting this. It's amazing. I'm looking in that and chills is just going through my body.
Yeah, and I also want to thank, because this board has been very instrumental in implementation of the money that we spend on our diverse libraries, and that's impacted our children. But also you invested a lot of money for us to purchase HMH. And that's where I came across with McCoy, the real McCoy that was from here. And the story speaks about IPSY, and it's a 9th grade unit in our, and HMH is really a very culturally diverse with curriculum, especially in the secondary level. And like I say to you, all these pieces have happened, and there are these great materials in front of our kids because of you, because it wouldn't happen without the great leadership that makes that happen. So thank you.
Thank you.
I was gonna just say, you know, it strikes me looking at this book, and looking at this presentation that, here, you know, in what is recognized as Black History Month, but it's 365, 24/7. But, you know, this Black Lives Matter is a slogan, right? And it's a rallying cry, but this is a tangible, you know, this is a tangible piece of how Black Lives Matter in our district. And I am overjoyed.
Yeah, thank you for the presentation. It was beautiful.
Oh,
I enjoyed it.
thank
And I
you.
can't wait to kind of be able, it's a thick book, but even all our histories can't fit in that one book. But thank you for, that and introducing it, and especially at all the levels, though. I
And
appreciate that.
Neat thing, because when you watch our students,
Mhm.
you know, and they're in these classes, they're also learning to be activists and to use their social activism in the positive way, which I think is very influential. And I mean, there's a whole lot going on in the district, but every day I wake up and I'm very proud of our kids, because when they show up well. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll just end by saying quickly, Dr. Lopez, of course, thank you for this presentation, and just a huge thanks to the district for moving important work for our children like this forward, right? Like, we often see Black history in a silo, but Black history is part of our American history, and it's important that we do everything we can to make sure it's embedded in every fiber of what we do, because history is important. It teaches us, it informs us, it helps us to remember and to do things differently maybe as we move forward. So I just appreciate that we have this curriculum, and I also appreciate that this board and this district is unapologetic, especially in a country where we're under attack in so many other different ways about what we can and cannot do. So I'm just appreciative that we're moving this work forward. Something that starts as an idea and then it comes to fruition in a whole curriculum. It's amazing. So thank you. It's coming around. I know you. I'm trying to talk it.
And if you go and take a look at any of these are all the different grade
Your
levels.
eyes on me. Trust me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I promise you I'm sending it. Okay, next that takes us to our consent agenda. Is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, Trustee Schindler, I move that the Board of Education approve the February 12th, 2024 regular board meeting minutes, February 12th, 2024 special board meeting minutes, and personnel matters as per the presented list dated 2/21/24, new hires and resignations.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Trustee Schindler. Is there support for this motion?
Support Trustee Townsend.
Thank you. Supported by Trustee Townsend. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. That now takes us to, our action item under business and finance action item. We're on number 12, and that's the adoption of the Ypsilanti PA 321 resolution. Is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, Trustee Fields, move that the Board of Education adopt the Ypsilanti PA 321 resolution.
Thank you. A motion has been made by Trustee Fields. Is there support for this motion?
Support Trustee Townsend.
Thank you. Supported by Trustee Townsend. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Next, that takes us to the acceptance of the renewal of Swivel Solutions. Is there a motion at this time?
Madam President, I move that the Board of Education accepts the attached quote for Swivel Solutions for the amount of $40,896.
Thank you. A motion has been made by trustee Fields. Is there support for this motion?
Support Vice President Lee.
Supported by Vice President Lee. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none, a motion was made by trustee Fields, supported by Vice President Lee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? That motion carries. Next, that takes us to our second public comment, portion for this evening. See no public comment cards and no community members wishing to address the board. I will move on to item 14, which is board superintendent comments. Board members, what comments might you have?
I do have one. Well, no, I think I have about two of them.
Okay.
When we were at Q, Mr. Garrett
Mhm.
asked us to present at the NSBA conference.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if we're going to or not, but if we are, registration for that is due by March 22nd. That's for the conference in the hotel.
Mhm.
So if we're gonna do that, we need to decide or not,
Which one?
the
Upcoming conference that the board could go to.
In New Orleans?
yes.
Oh, yeah. We need to talk about that. I was wondering when we were gonna talk about that.
I did go online and, I couldn't figure out exactly what that was, the title or anything
Mhm.
gonna be,
Oh, the theme. Uh-huh.
the theme,
Okay.
so somebody need to do that. Then the second one was
Mhm.
regarding the email we got from Miss Nicole Van Barracon
Mhm.
regarding, Holmes Playground equipment and a big tree next to her fence. Apparently last year around this time, it was an ice storm and a big limb fell. And it's still there. And then the playground, I thought they tore that playground down when they built a new playground, but I
They
guess
don't have one at
still
Homes.
up
There's no
there.
new program at Homes.
I'm sorry?
This is at Homes. They don't have a new playground at Homes. The letter is
Oh,
about
God.
Homes Elementary. There's no new
I'm thinking
playground
about
there.
Ford,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
But that's on our list, and a superintendent did reach out to her. I don't know, you might not had a chance to read it yet, but she did reach out and respond to her.
And I
Okay.
talked to
Yeah.
Mr.
I
Rose.
didn't
Mhm.
reach,
Yeah.
okay,
Mhm.
And
So,
he sent
yeah.
out a team. I talked to Mr. Rose last week.
okay,
Mhm.
so those are my two comments.
I'll just quickly respond, Vice President Lee, about the NSBA conference. The call, so board members, if board members are interested, we can discuss attending, if that's what board members would like to do. Of course, this board has been really active and engaged in making sure that our professional development is cultivated in a lot of different ways, whether that be through attendance or presenting on the work we're doing here in the district. The call for proposals was last year, so they usually do it a year out. So that means that we could attend, but because the call for proposals is already passed, we wouldn't be able to present.
Oh,
But we could be on the lookout for other conferences.
okay.
All of that long.
But what happened, you said why we couldn't, because I have a hearing problem.
Oh, I'm sorry. The call for proposals is usually a year out, so we missed the deadline for the call for proposals, but we could still go to the conference. We just wouldn't be able to, shine brightly,
Oh, yeah, I know,
and,
right.
dazzle everyone with our
Yes,
phenomenal
yes.
presentation. But we could be on the lookout for other presentations, that we could maybe submit for, so that we can present at other conferences, but we can still attend the conference, but, it won't be the same if we're not presenting.
I know, right?
But thank you for bringing that information forward, Vice President Lee, to the board.
Okay.
Madam President, I had some updates. So I just wanted to remind the board, and I will be more diligent about sending this information out to you all, this week. The Washtenaw Literacy Coalition, it is a bunch of, organizations, with, including a collaboration with YCS, is doing the Family Literacy Initiative Campaign kickoff. And so this is to discuss, just the crisis that we have around literacy, to increase volunteerism with the different organizations that focus on literacy, that support this cause. And our very own Dr. Carlos Lopez will be on a panel with some other individuals, including Naomi Norman with the WISD. We will also have local elected officials, Representative Jimmy Wilson, Representative Debbie Dingle, State Senator Jeff Irwin. They will also be there. Shamara Heron from Michigan Works, Derek Jackson from Washtenaw County's Community Engagement, and one of our past educators, Sharon Button. She used to be up here
Oh,
still.
Shereen Button.
Shireen, I said it
yeah.
wrong, Shireen Button. Yep, they will all be on a panel discussing how, we can help turn this literacy thing around and some possible, solutions, but just to have some real transparent conversations. And so that will be on Sunday, March 10th, 2024 at WCC, the Morris Lawrence Building from 1 to 5 p.m. We will also have a special viewing of the movie The Right to Read, which was produced by LeVar Burton. And we will provide lunch. So it is totally free. Anybody is welcome to come. So please feel free. And I'll send that information out. The annual community Easter egg hunt with the African American organizations of Washtenaw County, along with friends. We will be having the Easter egg hunt on Saturday, March 30th. It will be at Perry School from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. So children ages 5 to 11, they are all invited. And again, this is another free event. And then yours truly will be on Thursday. So I'll be in 2 places at one time. We'll be presenting, or we'll be speaking at Park Ridge's annual Black History event, and we'll be talking about businesses and impact, celebrating businesses and impact in the community. So just look at y'all email tonight after we get out of here. So thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Townsend. Any other board comment? The last thing that I will say is congratulations to Vice President Lee for winning Region 7.
Cool. What'd you say?
Oh, you get a notification? Okay.
That's what it said.
Yeah, that's what it is. You wanna look it up?
Congratulations.
What they want to say?
Oh, they didn't tell you yet?
And,
She like, what?
The one that you applied for, and we say, yeah,
That one.
that's you. So, yeah, again.
okay, well, maybe they notified us. We'll forward the information.
Maybe it's in your spam mail. Check spam too.
I'm gonna check spam.
Okay,
All right now.
All right, well.
we're gonna have to go celebrate. We're gonna have to
Oh my goodness, they have already? I thought you did March.
It's almost March.
That's what I was wondering.
It's terrible news for you.
Well, we know now. We
Well,
love
we
it. Love it, girl.
We'll get the info to you.
So I think we need a new jacket for the conference. Cause we gonna be coming in there like, that's us.
Wow. When did you?
So Dr. Zach will also tell you.
Oh.
Okay.
Dr. Zachary Ross.
Yes, I'm only gonna do the one announcement because I'm really excited about this Thursday. We are excited about our debt relief celebration. We want everyone to be coming out 4:30 to 6:30 at Ypsilanti Community High School, as we are just really excited about this. And we are grateful to our community and all of those who supported us along the way. So we're gonna have our students there, our community there, and so 4:30 to 6:30, we're just gonna be celebrating.
All right.
So thank you, board.
Yes, thank
Oh,
you. Anything else?
We can go?
All right. The time is 9:42.
Oh, I think
Yes.
Oh.
field trip.
Well, we did.
Yeah,
She already
I thought
did it.
that-
We
yeah.
did it.
We did?
She did that
Yeah,
first.
yeah, she did
I
that
was in
already.
the back.
Yeah,
Okay,
she
never mind.
did. Everybody. Yeah, she did that already.
My bad.